Check. 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 I think we should be good. Jesse, stop that. Check. 1, 2. I think we're good. Check. 1, 2. All right. Going to do a little pre-show to make sure the connection's good, and hopefully it won't die like it was last time. I think the internet connection's a little better. Greetings, everybody. Hopefully the audio is okay, and hopefully the internet connection will hold this time. Probably not going to have as many people this time because probably everyone probably gave up after the first show earlier today and got confused and so forth. But we'll see what happens. So let me know if the audio sounds good. Should have the same levels as earlier today, so it should sound okay. All right, all good. Yeah, something tells me we're not going to have near the audience that we had this morning. But oh well. Just means we'll have a more intimate show. Where did my phone go? Be right back. Well, we're up to 46. Let's see if we can get above 50. So, start the pre-show show. So if you guys have any questions you want to ask before the show starts, my apologies, I'm adjusting my mic. Okay, there we go. There should be no video right now. You should just see an Eric's Trains logo. Let me know if that's what you're seeing. See, I can change the background. I can do Eric's Trains. I can do a test pattern. I can do a picture of a locomotive. Or I can go back to that, or I can turn the cameras on. So you should just be seeing the Eric's Trains logo right now. All right, we are up to almost 60. Let's see if we can get a few more. If you have any questions, let's see here. Do you have any advice for a beginner in the world of legacy? Read the instructions thoroughly and then read them again. The instructions will tell you what you need to do. One of these days I should do a newer video showing how to use legacy. My chair keeps falling. Hang on a minute. Yeah, this chair keeps falling. Okay, I guess it's gonna fall. Yeah, so just don't be afraid to play around with the legacy system, and don't just read the instructions. You know, it's pretty simple. It's pretty intuitive. A lot more intuitive than the MTH system. So, you know, what's my favorite locomotive? Everybody already always asks that. I really don't have an answer for it. What do you think of an O-scale flanger? What is an O-scale flanger? Someone's gonna have to fill me in on that. Retired LEO says, do you have any BNSF? Yeah, I have a lot of BNSF. It's one of my regularly purchased road names. Although I haven't gotten a BNSF proper locomotive in a little while. I just got a Santa Fe GP7. But yeah, Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, BNSF, all that stuff I like. So, turn the video on. Does Eric still have his Weaver Pocono or BP20? No, I don't. Those were loaned to me by Weaver, and they did not let me keep them. I have two Weaver steam locomotives. I have, well, actually I have four. I have two unpainted, unlettered GP38s that I've never shown. And I actually missed them when I did the engine count a couple months ago. And then, because they've been in the box for years. And then I've got two Weaver steam engines. There's the Canadian Pacific, or Canadian National, sorry, Canadian National K5A, I think is what it's called. And then there's the, what's it called? The what's it called? Let me look. There's the Canadian National K5A, and then there's the Boston and Maine Peter Cooper, which is a 462. The K5A I bought from Weaver, so that's why I still have it. The Peter Cooper Boston and Maine, they sent it to me to review, and then they went out of business before they could ask for it back. So I ended up being able to keep it. But no, the Pocono, sadly the Pocono and the BP20, they wanted those back. So, how was the baseball game? Well, they lost. I was watching Georgia Tech and KSU, and Georgia Tech lost today. They're having a lot of problems this season. At one point they were ranked number 6 in the country, and now they've dropped out of the top 25 because they've been having issues. My son plays for Georgia Tech. That's why I watched them. Let's see here. I'll answer that in a moment. So does everything sound good? Does everything look good? I guess we can probably start in a moment. I think everything's looking good. I'll just wait for confirmation from you guys, and then we'll get started. I just got a haircut on Friday. My hair was getting pretty long, and so I got a few inches chopped off, and just in time for summer. Yeah, those BP20s were cool. I don't know if those were the last ones to be made by Weaver, honestly. I think they made some stuff after the BP20. Okay, so the stream says excellent condition. Let's hope it holds. So we'll go ahead and start. We've got 86 people. Hopefully that'll go up by a little bit. So when we did the show earlier today, I was talking about upcoming videos, and then I started talking about the custom run Eric's Trains locomotive that I'm going to be doing soon. So I'll start off by talking about the custom run locomotive because I know everybody wants to hear about that, and hopefully if the connection dies, we'll get that done before the connection gives us any trouble. Although it's been stable for a few hours now, so it should be okay. Anyway, I'm going to be making an Eric's Trains custom O-scale locomotive. It's going to be an MTH Premier Line F3. And it's in the design phase right now, so I can't show you anything. I've got an artist working on the paint scheme and everything. MTH, because they're sort of scaled back now, they don't have any in-house designers really, and so you have to sort of design it yourself. So I'm in the process of getting that done, and as soon as that's done, we will send it over to MTH and get it put into their production queue. The nice thing is that MTH is not requiring large numbers of locomotives for a custom run these days. I think the minimum order is something like 36, which we'll probably make somewhere around the minimum order because who knows how well this is going to sell. So my guess is we'll probably make somewhere between 36 and maybe 50. And if they sell okay, we might make more. We might make a different locomotive. And then, of course, if those sell well, I want to make some matching rolling stock to go with it. So that eventually you can have sort of an entire Eric's train, so to speak. But we settled on the Premier Line F3A, and for a number of reasons. But one of the main reasons is because the Eric's Trains logo has an F3 in the logo. So I figured that would be a fitting way to start off making a custom locomotive. Now, as I was talking about earlier today, it's kind of like it was a really weird reaction when I announced it. Some people got really nasty about it, and I wanted to talk about that for just a moment. It's like I said earlier today, no good deed goes unpunished. And like I put out this post and I said, what do you guys think of a custom run train? And I didn't really think it through. And so after I made that post, then I said, well, here's the thing. I want to make a scale locomotive. I don't want anything semi-scale. So I'm not going to do a Rail King steam engine or an Imperial steam engine or anything like that because I want it to be a scale model. And the reason that I want it to be a scale model is quite simple. If I'm going to make a custom locomotive of my own, I want it to be something that I would buy myself. And I don't typically buy semi-scale trains. I know they're more affordable, but I don't buy those things typically, and so why would I make a custom locomotive of something that I myself would not typically buy? So that's why I wanted to do a scale locomotive, and people kind of took that, some people took that the wrong way. They thought I was bad-mouthing the Rail King line, which I wasn't, because some of the locomotives I was choosing from were Rail King scale locomotives. You can get Rail King scale. Some of their diesels are scale locomotives. Like the MP15 and the GP7 and so forth, and those were in the running for what we were going to make. So it's not that it wasn't about the affordability. It wasn't trying to get something too expensive. It was, or what product line it was going to be. It was just about having a scale model versus a semi-scale model. And the funny thing is that there's really not that much of a price difference. I think the F3 is a good choice. It's not too expensive. It's not the cheapest thing they make. It's kind of right there in the middle. The retail price on the Premier Line F3A is $499.95, and it'll probably be a little bit less when Legacy Station sells it. I doubt they'll sell it for the full retail price. And that's really not too far off from Rail King. I mean, a lot of people were hounding me to do a Rail King steam locomotive. Well, a Rail King steam locomotive is $460 retail. That's only $40 less than a Premier Line diesel, okay? And even like the cheapest Rail King diesels are like, $370, $350. If I did an MP15, that's like $360, I think. Yeah, $360. So, we're not talking about a huge gap in price. And I mean, for a minute there, I was just going to not do it at all because I was getting such a negative reaction from people, and they were acting like I was trying to, make some super expensive locomotive. And it wasn't about that at all. It was just, I want to have a scale locomotive. Whether it's Rail King or Premier, I don't care. I just wanted it to be a scale locomotive. And I think the F3A sort of fills in all the categories of what we want, and so I think that's why we're going to do the F3A. Later on, we might do a Rail King scale diesel, maybe an MP15 or a GP7 or something like that. But that's how that's going to go down. So yeah, it was really weird. A lot of people get really defensive when you talk about selling things and what price they're going to be. You know, they get really upset about prices and stuff like that, and I've never really understood that. I mean, I understand being able to afford something or not being able to afford something, but there's no reason to get all hateful and insulting, you know, just because you might not be able to afford something. That doesn't mean it shouldn't be made. And if you can't afford it, you know, see if, you know, do something and see if you can get yourself into a position where you can afford it. You know, that's how life works. So, and there, you know, a lot of people get pissy because they have this assumption that I'm rich, like I won the lottery or something, and I didn't. I didn't win the lottery. I wouldn't consider myself rich. I do well, but the reason I do well is because I work my tail off. I work a lot. I have about 5 different jobs. I mean, this is kind of going into none of your business territory, but I have 5 different jobs. I have my day job, which I work every, 5 days a week, and I'm on call sometimes and after hours work. Then I have my own side business that's based on my day job. That's computer related stuff. Then I have Eric's Trains, which, yes, it is a business. It takes a lot of work to make videos and to keep making content. You know, when you have a YouTube channel and it's making money, and you wanted to keep making money, well, it becomes, you have to keep the content flowing. And if you go a week without content, that's your revenue is going to dip. And so, yeah, it is a business. You know, it's a fun business, but it's still a business. It requires a lot of work. Then I have my second YouTube channel now, Kitbashed Survival, which is doing extremely well, and that's keeping me busy. Then I also write for OGR Magazine, which I have to write 3 articles within the next, turn 3 articles in within the next week. So that's, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs that I have. So if you ever wonder how I can afford these trains, I didn't win the lottery. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I work my tail off. I probably, altogether with all those jobs, I probably put in 80 plus hours a week. It's a lot of work, and it can be a little exhausting at times. So that's how I'm able to afford this stuff. So just so you know, I'm aware of affordability. I'm not made of money, and when I'm making a custom run engine, I want it to be something that people can afford. And I think the Premier line F3 diesel strikes a good balance between, affordability and being a nice scale engine. I know $500 is a lot of money. I'm aware of that, but any O-scale locomotive is going to, even O-gauge, even a Rail King steam engine is going to be $460, like we said. So either way, you're going to be paying a lot of money. So, that's why I decided to go with what I would want myself, and that is the F3A. So, anyway, so that is the custom run engine story, and that's the story of how it's happening. So I'm hoping to have the design done within the next week or so, and then we'll send it off to MTH, and hopefully they'll have it done, maybe later this year or early next year or something like that. I'm not sure how long it'll take them, but pretty cool. And then we have the upcoming videos. Right now I'm filming a review for some MTH flat cars with military loads, with Humvees and Stryker vehicles. Really, really cool. I've got 16 of those cars. I ordered them all. I ordered them all when they were announced. I ordered every one of them because the reason I ordered all of them was because and I'll say this in the review too. By far the most talked about freight cars that I have in my collection are the MTH flat cars with the M1A Abrams tanks that were put out maybe 10 or 12 years ago. They're awesome cars. They look incredible. They made 2 sets of 6. I got one of the 6 packs. I did not get the other 6 pack, and I regretted it ever since. And for some reason, they've never done those cars again. And I've told the guys at MTH, dude, if you guys do those, they will sell out. I guarantee you, because everybody loves them. Everybody who comes to the layout talks about them. I almost always have them on the layout somewhere because they are so cool looking. And so, learning from that lesson, when they announced these new flat cars with the Humvees and the Stryker vehicles, I ordered every single one I could get. So that was 16 cars, I think. And they're really cool. That video is almost done, so it'll probably it'll be released to Patreon supporters probably in the middle of this next week, around Wednesday, and then next Saturday it'll go public. So that's usually the schedule I try to keep with videos. Is I try, if I'm doing a good job and not getting too busy, I release the video on Wednesday for Patreon supporters, and then, or maybe sometimes Thursday, and then Saturday or Sunday sometimes I'll do the main public release. And that's the once a week video schedule is what I try to do. I don't always succeed, but that's what I'm trying to do. The other things I'm reviewing, there's the Vision Line GS series locomotives. It's taken a while because I've been trying to figure out if I should review them all at once or just do separate videos. And I think I'm going to do separate videos because I now have 4 of the Vision Line GS series locomotives. I've got the GS1, I've got a GS2, and then 2 GS4s. And I might even add a GS5 or a GS6 at some point. And there's a reason for that. But I won't go into that here. But so I'll be reviewing those soon. And I'll start with the GS1 and then just move up there chronologically from the GS1, the GS2, GS4, and so forth. So those should be cool. And then I've got a Lionel Central of Georgia F3 set that I want to review that was put out. It's a custom run that Legacy Station did last year. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a Menards building that I got to review, and then several other things. So, and also, I just ordered a new third rail diesel locomotive. It's that Kraus, I forget, what's it called? The Kraus something or other. It's a really cool looking diesel locomotive, and third rail is, it'll probably be out later this year. And so I just put my deposit down for that, and that should be a really, really cool engine to review. I don't know if it'll be popular, but it's going to be really cool. It looks unlike any other diesel. What's it called? The, let's see, the third rail. It's called the Kraus Maffei ML4000. So if you Google Kraus ML4000, you'll see pictures of it, and it's a super cool looking diesel and unlike any other diesel out there. So that's coming as well. So, and then another video I'm going to be doing soon will be, I think I'm going to do it, is a video on trees. Get that in camera. Where I buy my trees and how much they cost and how I put them on the layout. So, and again, I posted about these trees a while back, and somebody gave me some smart remark about, you know, them being too expensive, and it's like, well, that's not my problem. So, yes, these kind of trees, these really nice handmade trees, are very expensive. They're about $10 a piece at least. Very expensive. Trees are always very expensive, and the reason good trees are expensive is because they're very labor intensive to make. You can't automate this. You have to make it by hand, and that takes time, and time is money, and that is why nice custom made trees are usually expensive. I mean, you're going to have to invest in them either way. You're going to have to either invest your own time making them, which it takes a lot of hours to make them, or you're going to have to pay for somebody else's time. I don't have time to sit around making tons of trees, so I pay somebody else for their time so they can make them for me. So, and these are made by Grand Central Gems, by the way. So I've got these big lodge pole pines. I've got a couple oak trees, and then I've got some of the less expensive wireframe pine trees that they make. I usually put these in the Colorado room, so they all match. And those are all made by Grand Central Gems, so they're pretty cool. Let me pick up that tree. I don't want to step on it later. Okay, so that's a new video that's coming soon as well, and I think I haven't quite decided if I want to do it or not, but I think I'm going to. So that's that. So now what we're going to do, I'll answer a couple questions, and then what we're going to do is unbox something that I just got, and I think you guys will like it, and then we'll run that, and then we'll call it a day. So it's not going to be a super long show today, maybe an hour, something like that. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and I will try to answer them, and then we'll move on and do the unboxing. Let's see here. I'm starting to model. Would you recommend HO scale or N scale? None of the above. I'd recommend O scale. That's a loaded question. Eric, how come you don't have a cab 1 or cab 2 remote for TMCC? I do have a cab 2 remote. It's a legacy remote. It's right here. I don't have a cab 1 because I never had an original TMC system. I started off with legacy, and I started off with DCS, and then by the time I got into Lionel command control, legacy was already out. So that's why I don't have it. You can run TMCC with the legacy remote. It's TMCC and legacy are the same thing. Legacy is just a little fancier, but it's the same. The foundation is exactly the same. That's why they're backwards compatible with each other. So let's see here. Someone says, what do you think about the UP 1111 locomotive? I think it's a really cool looking locomotive. I'd like to get you know, a version of it. I'd like to get maybe the Lionel version or something like that. I don't have it yet. So, but yeah, it's a beautiful locomotive. Will I be going to York this fall? Well, are they going to have York this year? I mean, are they canceling it again because of COVID? I don't know. If they have it, I might try to go. I hadn't really thought about it yet, but if they have it, I might go to the fall show. I was planning on going last year, but then COVID came along. If they're going to have it, I'll go. I've already been vaccinated, so I'll go. Okay, Mr. Blitz says, when can you do the S-Gauge Polar Express? I think you're the guy who keeps asking me to do the S-Gauge Polar Express or the S-Gauge Big Boy, and I don't do S-Gauge. For me to do S-Gauge, I would have to start from scratch. I would have to buy the track and then buy a locomotive and buy some cars and so forth. So I'm probably not going to do S-Gauge anytime soon unless I just have some extra money to throw around, maybe. Or if Lionel decides to send me something, maybe I'll do it then. But you know, right now I'm not set up for S-Scale. And even if I got it, I wouldn't have anywhere to run it. I'd have to set the track up on the floor or on a temporary table of some sort. So yeah, it's not something I can easily do. I've already sort of branched into HO a little bit, and that has its challenges. So I don't know if I will do S-Gauge anytime soon. But I won't say no. I'll never say no. But there's no no politics. Is somebody talking politics? I'll talk politics. You probably don't want me to talk politics. I'll talk politics. do I like Donald Trump? Yes or no? You know, he's not president anymore, so it's really a moot point. I mean, he lost the election. Whether it was fair or not, you can debate that, but you know, he's not president anymore, so it's a moot point. But I probably shouldn't talk about politics. I'll probably anger someone. I'll just say that I'm very middle of the road, and I don't subscribe to supporting one party unilaterally across the board, or one candidate unilaterally across the board. I think that's silly. I think it's self-destructive when people, you know, the guy, you know, the other party wins, and then they spend the next 4 years trying to destroy that candidate. I don't think that's productive. I try to, you know, assess a president or politician's actions one action at a time. So, you know, so with Trump, there were some things that he did that I agreed with, and there were some things that he did that I didn't agree with. Same with any other president. You know, it doesn't. I don't. Just because I didn't vote for someone or did vote for someone, even if I voted for someone, doesn't mean I'm going to support every idea that they have. It is possible for someone that you like to come up with a bad idea or do something stupid. So I don't like this whole division, this polarizing thing where people say, you know, if it comes out of the mouth of someone on the other side, it must be wrong, you know, and it's ridiculous. So that's all I'm going to say. Which MTH features do you hope are or aren't carried forward by Atlas? That's a good question. You know, Atlas has bought some of the MTH tooling, and I'm excited about that. I think it's in good hands. I'm glad that Lionel didn't buy it, although maybe they bought some, I don't know. But I know Atlas bought the ES44 and the SD70 tooling, and I think that's great. I mean, it's in good hands. Atlas makes fantastic models, and I'm excited to see what they do with them. I've heard that Atlas is going to keep Protosound 3 in the engines that they make, which I think is great. I think it's better, way better than what they've been doing, because what they up until now, what they've done is they put a sort of a weak version of TMCC in their locomotives, because Lionel, for some silly reason, won't license out Legacy. And so you have to put TMCC in there, or Legacy Light, or something like that. And so you don't get near as many cool features and sounds as you do with Legacy. If you want that, you have to buy a Lionel locomotive. And so I've always thought that put Atlas at a disadvantage, because there's no way an Atlas locomotive up until now was going to sound anywhere near as good as a Lionel locomotive. They sounded okay, but not as good as a Legacy locomotive. So if they're going to put PS3 in their locomotive, I think that's great, because PS3 sounds a whole heck of a lot better than a neutered TMCC like Atlas has been using in the past. I hope that Atlas will, if I had one wish, I hope they will fix the Protosound speaker system and make it better. It's no secret that I've always thought that the Lionel speakers are better. They have more bass, they have a more rich sound, and MTH speakers tend to be more tinny. And although the MTH sounds themselves are excellent, probably better than Lionel, the delivery system has never been as good as Lionel. And so I hope that Atlas will invest a little money in beefing up the speaker system so that they'll sound as good as they'll sound their best. But we'll see what happens. They probably won't. I mean, it's probably easier just to keep the status quo, but you know. By the way, folks, Tony Lamane, he's the moderator. So if you ask a question, he might answer for me, because he knows the answers to a lot of questions. So if you ask a question and you see him answer it, you know, take that as the answer. Can you make a video of the York train show tour? You know, up until a few years ago, they didn't allow cameras at all. I think they're allowing them now, but I don't know how receptive they'll be to someone running around shooting a lot of video. They might not like that. You know, I might do it if it's allowed. So let's see here. What do you think changed, if anything, at MTH's builder that's allowing them to do shorter production runs? I think it's just them adapting to their new situation. They're no longer going to be a giant manufacturer of trains, probably because they don't have the money. And so for them, it's going to make more sense to do smaller runs. Kind of like, if I had to guess, I think MTH is probably going to morph into something like Third Rail, or like Weaver used to be, where they don't make a ton of stuff, but they make really good stuff in limited runs, and I think that's how they'll do it. I think they'll listen to their customers and say, what do you want us to make, and then make limited runs of those items. So I understand why they're doing that. Probably doesn't make sense at this point to just go and make tons and tons and tons of trains. I mean, but you know, who knows? Let's see here. What road name did you get for the Kraus Maffei? I believe it's Southern Pacific. I think that's the only road name it comes in, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. No, they're doing Denver Rio Grande colors too, but I think they're all Southern Pacific. But yeah, it's Southern Pacific, but there's the Black Widow paint scheme, if you want to call it that, a Bloody Nose paint scheme, and then the yellow and black Denver Rio Grande paint scheme, and I'm getting the default Bloody Nose paint scheme. Black Widow. Is that the Black Widow or Bloody Nose? I can't remember. Yeah, that's going to be. I'm really excited about that. I already paid for it. So I'm just waiting for it to show up. And Scott Mann over at Third Rail, when I ordered it, he emailed me and he's like, "Are you getting this for you, or are you getting it to review?" And I replied back and I said, "I'm for both." I said both. I said I want it and I'm going to review it. So, you know, and he said, "Well, you know, it's always weird with Third Rail because, you know, reviewing their items, I don't think really has that much direct impact on the sales because, you know, they only make the ones that are ordered. And so by the time I get mine, there's probably not going to be very many for sale. They might have a handful for sale on their website, but it's not like there's going to be tons of them. And so, you know, I told Scott, I said, well, the main reason I want to review your stuff is not necessarily to sell that particular model, but just for brand awareness, because there's a lot of people out there that are not aware of the existence of Third Rail or have never even seen a Third Rail locomotive, you know, especially people who are getting back into the hobby or new to the hobby. You know, they think there's Lionel, they might know about MTH, and they just don't know about Third Rail at all. So that's really the main reason I like to review their stuff, is for brand awareness. Let's see here. I'll do one more question and then we'll unbox this stuff. What upcoming projects do you have planned for the layout? Well, I'm trying to finish the yard shop, the engine shop area. I need to finish paving the parking lot. I really want to stripe my roads and stripe my parking lots, but I really haven't found a reliable method yet for striping the roads and parking lots. I've experimented with a few items. I've tried painting them on, and it didn't the paint kind of seeped into the crevices and didn't work too well. I think I might go with some tape, some like white or yellow tape. So I'd like to do that. And then the other big project I'm working on, which I already did a video on, is the storage racks under the layout. Because storage of cars is a constant problem for me, and storage of trains. And so I want to have some nice storage racks where I can have things at the ready. A good example of that is those new MTH flat cars with the Humvees and the Striker vehicles. Those things took forever to unpack because they're so strapped down and packed in to protect them. I mean, I got 16 of those cars. It took over an hour to unbox 16 of those cars. I don't want to put them back in boxes again. I'd rather just put them on storage tracks below so that they're there when I need them and I can just put them back and take them whenever I want. So, the log cars in the background, I believe I've already reviewed those. I think I already reviewed those. The logging disconnects, I think I already reviewed those. Could be wrong, but I think I did. Let's see here. Did I order the, hang on a second. Did I order the Lionel UP gas turbine electric? Yes, I did. I ordered the just the default UP paint scheme. I can't remember which road number I got, but it's the one with the green hood. I think is the one I ordered. Those are really cool. And I wanted to order that Army one so bad with the shark nose on it. I thought that was so cool, but oh well. Do I still have the Virginian electric from Third Rail? I do. It's in a box right now, but yes, I do. Long story short, I do. Let's see here. I'll do one more question. What did I do with the last Third Rail? See, Third Rail, if I don't buy the locomotive, he'll loan me something, but he wants it back. Because obviously he's not making a ton of locomotives. He doesn't have a whole bunch to spare. So he's happy to send me something to review, but he does want it back. So, all right. So I think what we'll do now is, I said this earlier today, but I got a call from Legacy Station yesterday and said that they got a whole bunch of Lionel stuff in, and one of the items that's arrived for me is the Lionel Canadian Pacific or Canadian National 10-wheeler. So I'm excited about that. And I'll go pick that up next week, probably next weekend. It's hard for me to go during the week because, as I said before, I have 5 jobs, so it's hard to get out during the week. Okay, so I think we'll... do I have any tips for having snow on your layout? Woodland Scenics makes a snow product that you can use. I've never used it, but they do make a snow. Woodland Scenics makes a snow ground cover that you can buy. So what I'm going to do here is switch cameras. Actually, hang on a minute. Well, hang on a minute. All right. Before I do the unboxing, I'll answer a few more questions real quick, and I'm going to have a beer. A frosty, cold beer, because it's Sunday evening. Yeah. This is a beer I got it last week, and I really like it. I was up backpacking on the Appalachian Trail last weekend, and they had this at the Nantahala Outdoor Center. They had this Nantahala Brewing Dirty Girl Blonde Ale. it's really good. So I'm gonna have a beer. Yeah, 5 jobs. I have 5 different jobs that I do. So that's why I'm able to afford these trains, because I work my tail off. Do I have more 464T? I have one 464T. Let's see here. There's a Lionel ale. Yeah, it's I really like it. Nantahala Brewing. You can't get it down here in Atlanta. They only sell it locally up there. Born in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains, it's made in Bryson City. So my meetup group that does backpacking up on the Appalachian Trail, they went out again this weekend. I couldn't go this weekend. I couldn't get off work to take off another Friday. So I asked my friend Val. I said, when you go up there this weekend, can you get me a couple more six packs of that Nantahala Dirty Girl Blonde Ale? It's really good. It's really smooth drinking. 5.75% alcohol. Brewed and canned in Bryson City, North Carolina. There's another brewery up there in Franklin called Lazy Hiker. And the Lazy Hiker Ale is really good too. So what happens is I go with my meetup group and we backpack on the Appalachian Trail for a few days, and when we get to the end, we always go for burgers and beers, and so that's how I got introduced to the Dirty Girl Blonde. So cheers. That is so good. It's really smooth, easy drinking, but it's not like a cheap beer. It's really, really nice. I like it. They have it on tap at the restaurants up there, so that's when we had it. Bryson City, yeah, the town. They do have a model railroad up there, and Bryson City is also where the Smoky Mountain Railroad starts. They have a station there. Really cool. Bryson City is a really cool little town. If you've never been there, try it out. Check it out. Franklin is becoming a really cool, hip town up there. And they all have their own little local breweries now, so you can just go all around and try all these local brews. It's really nice. All right, so yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't know if you saw the Eric's Train stickers, but I got some stickers made. Let me go get those. Hang on a minute. Okay. This one's all scratched up, but oh well. So I got these vinyl stickers made. They're really cool. And I've been putting these, when people buy a t-shirt, I've been giving them one of these with a t-shirt. I've been trying to find a way to sell them on my store, but I haven't figured out how to do it. I got to get some sort of plug-in because, I want to do free shipping on it, because it's just a postal stamp, and just sell it for like $2. And I'm on Shopify, and it's overly complicated to try to sell something this small. And then I also got these postcards. This one's kind of scratched up, but the Eric's Trains postcards. And these are for Patreon supporters. If you're a $10 a month Patreon supporter, you get a handwritten postcard from me. And I'll send you one to start off with, and then I'll probably send some out for the holidays and times like that. So pretty cool little postcards. Greetings from Eric's Trains. And then the stickers too. And then I also got stickers. And then I also got some a limited run of these t-shirts made. And you guys bought a lot of them. I think I still have a few left. In a few limited sizes. I have to ship one out tonight for some guy that ordered one. I haven't shipped it out yet. Seth Demos, if you're watching, your shirt's on the way. And then I also got some shirts made for my other channel, Kitbashed Survival. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there it is. I think that looks really good. That's my other YouTube channel. If If you haven't seen it, maybe check it out. It has nothing to do with trains. Absolutely nothing to do with trains. The only thing it has to do with trains is the name Kitbashed for the the channel is called Kitbashed Survival, and kitbashed is a term used in model making for when you kitbash various kits together to make a unique structure. And I borrowed that term for that because on that channel I build survival kits and stuff like that, and so I borrowed the term from model railroading. Anyway, and I'll probably give some of these shirts away at some point. Not today, but at some point I'll give a couple away. I've only got a few of these ones left, but I might give one or two away at some point. So. What inspired you to do O scale over HO? Well, I grew up around O scale, O gauge, post-war trains, and it just went from there. My first train that I had when I was really little was HO, but when I actually got into the hobby proper, I was introduced to O gauge. I inherited my dad's post-war Lionel trains. All right. Make a funeral train. I do have a funeral train. I have the Bush funeral train. Let's see here. Do you think Atlas should sell MTH as MTH? No, because it's not MTH. It's going to be made by Atlas. So no, they should brand it as their own. And I really hope they make some improvements to those models. Add some more detail like Atlas normally does on their other models, and like I said, if they could boost the sound system, that would be, oh man, that would be a dream come true. Like, pair up the Proto sound system with a really nice speaker enclosure and a nice speaker that gives it some nice fat bass. That would be really cool. All right. Are you familiar with Arduinos? I do know about Arduinos. I know about them. I've never worked with them. So that would be a stretch for me to set up any sort of animation or servo kind of stuff using an Arduino. But I do know about them. I've got a couple Raspberry Pis that are a few years old that I messed around with. But I don't have any Arduinos here, but I am familiar with it. I've never worked with them, and so that would take me quite a while to figure that out. Do you prefer the remote over the Bluetooth apps? Yeah, I mean, I like the handheld remote. I guess maybe because I'm old, old school. Maybe. I like the Bluetooth. I like using the smartphone, but I don't think the smartphone controls are as responsive and as sensitive as the handheld remote. I mean, they just don't have the nuance. I mean, when you're flipping a actual lever, I mean, it just has a good feel to it, and you don't get that on the smartphones. I mean, they're good. They work. They're always getting better, but given a choice between a real remote control and a smartphone, I'll take the real remote control most times. Just because they have, having the physical buttons, it's kind of like cars, the way cars have evolved. When the touch screens came out, the touchscreen infotainment centers in cars, they were all, there was a rush to put all the controls into the infotainment system and have no physical buttons in the car. And what they've discovered is that there are some buttons that you still need to have, and having everything on the touchscreen can be a bit of an annoyance to a lot of people. So, for instance, having a physical volume knob, people want to have that. Being able to turn your the heat seat heater on, the AC controls. People like those to be physical controls. And if you have to go through all these sub menus just to adjust the AC, or I mean, there are some cars where you had to go to a sub menu to adjust the volume on the stereo. So it's like, so what they've discovered is there was a in the newer cars, they're kind of coming back to more of a balance between the infotainment, having stuff in the system on the touchscreen, and having actual physical buttons. Because if it's all on the screen, it becomes a little bit of an annoyance and an inconvenience to have to drill down into all these menus. So, with the trains, I like the smartphones, but they're just, a lot of it is just, feels better and is easier to do on the remote, and maybe they should come out with a new legacy remote that is sort of a hybrid, that has a touch screen and all that stuff, but still has some physical buttons and sort of have the best of both worlds. But or maybe have a Bluetooth physical control that you can use for the trains that connects to Bluetooth or something like that. So I don't know. But yeah, like the quilling whistle on legacy remote, you just can't. It's hard to get that feel on your smartphone. I mean, just that the feel for quilling the whistle, it's just not the same on a smartphone. And on the Lion Chief app, I'm not even sure you can quill it. Maybe you can. I forget. So let's see here. What inspired you to do Lionel trains, and what's the favorite train you have? Because I already answered that. I inherited my dad's post-war trains, and that's what got me into it. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Lionel's ever going to do Legacy 2.0. Maybe, I hope they will, but I think everyone's going towards the smartphone control for better or worse. If for anything else, because it's cheaper and easier for them to do software updates rather than actually produce a physical remote. So it's kind of like everything else. It's easier to do software than hardware. The next open house will probably be later in the fall, assuming that they're going to have the Piedmont Pilgrimage again this year. It'll be in the fall, and whenever I find out, I'll let you guys know. I don't know yet. But my open house is always in the fall. It's always in either October or November. So okay, so I'm going to finish this beer and then we're going to unbox something. Ooh. See if I can find one more question. Could they make a new scale? Yeah, I don't know if model railroading has a wide enough audience to introduce a new scale. There's already enough scales the way it is. Do I have any all-nation trains? I don't know what that is. What is all-nation? Never heard of that. Maybe I'm out of touch. I'll have to look that up. Let's see here. All-nation trains. Is it O-scale? All-nation model trains. Okay. Oh, were those kits? Okay. Is that an old brand? Looks like it's something from the past. It looks cool. I don't, looks like 2-rail O-scale. Yeah, I don't do 2-rail O-scale, so that's probably why I don't know about it. All right, let's see here. What's an engine I would like to see made in O scale that hasn't been made yet? The Q1 would be cool. I mean, that would be cool. Gosh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I mean, they've made a lot. They've made a lot of stuff in O scale. So there's some stuff I'd like to see made in Vision line. But as for a brand new tooling for a new type of engine, I'd have to think about that. Okay, I'd like to see them make some more overseas trains. You know, make some Chinese trains or Japanese or Russian or just anything else besides the U.S. and Canada. I think it would be cool if somebody would kind of do that. You know, MTH did the European stuff, which was really cool, which I'm still trying to acquire some of those pieces. So I think it'd be cool if Lionel would get into that and do some foreign trains. That would be really cool. All right. Oh, last question. What do I think of the voice commands? Honestly, I think it's a bit of a gimmick. It takes longer to say the voice commands than to actually just press the button and do what you want to do. So, I mean, it's kind of like having a Alexa or Google controlled light switch. You know, it's like, a lot of times it's easier just to flip the switch than to have to actually say, "Hey, turn the light off." You know, so it's fun. It's a fun little gimmick to it's a fun thing to show people. You know, but in terms of everyday usage, I would never use it. That's just me. Okay. All right. Now now that I'm done with the beer, we will unbox some stuff. So I'm going to switch cameras here. Oh. And we'll move these cords out of the way, or I'll try to. Okay. So what am I gonna unbox today? Well, I posted a picture of this stuff previously on YouTube, but what I've got here is, let me turn the monitor so I can see it. What I've got here is a new Vision Line GS series locomotive. So this is the 203-1470 Southern Pacific Legacy GS2 4414 Lark. So it's the Southern Pacific Lark. And I've got the locomotive and then a bunch of passenger cars. I've got 7 passenger cars. So we're going to unbox it. Point this down a little bit. I don't know if I can zoom in. Oh, I guess I can. Cool. All right. I don't want to disrupt all these wires for the show. Let me see if I can get them out of the way a little bit. Maybe. Okay. Move this over a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's crack it open. Now, I ordered this after the fact, so I didn't pre-order this. So I had to go online and try to find someone who had it in stock. And I found this one at Train World. And they were kind enough to ship me everything very quickly so that I can write a review for this in the OGR magazine. So there it is. Vision Line GS steam locomotive. Looks pretty much the same as the other ones, except it's got a different paint scheme. So it may sound kind of silly, but the reason I got this, and the reason I might get a GS5 or a GS6, is because I'm writing reviews for all of these for the magazine, and I wanted to have more than just the GS1 and the GS4. So, all right, so there it is, the Lark. I'd really like to see a Vision Line diesel again. I think that would be super cool. They haven't done a Vision Line diesel in a while. I'd like to see an F3 or something. All right. So here's the instruction manual. I hope everything arrived okay. The exterior boxes from Train World were beat to hell, but hopefully everything survived intact. Yeah. Check that out. That looks really cool. Got that Lark logo on there. Not sure if you can see that. That's cool. Very nice. It's weird, it says 75 right here and then 4414. I don't know why that is. I guess is 75 the train number? Because it's a passenger train. Very cool. So the GS2 has, let's see here. It's got the cylinder steam, and then it's got the whistle steam, and I don't think it has the dynamo. That's the GS4 has the dynamo. Yeah, that looks awesome. And here's the tender. And it may seem silly that I bought this just so I could review it. But you know what? I figured I'm single. I don't have to answer to anybody except myself. I'm going to get it. So there's the tender. Looks great. All right, so let me put this up on the layout and then we'll open up the passenger cars. Things are heavy. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Always fun unboxing stuff, you know, that never gets old. So I've got the O-gauge coupler and the spare tires. The scale coupler mounting pads, which I'm not going to be using. There's a little funnel for the smoke units, and then a key tool for the driver nuts, which I've got plenty of those already, so I'll leave that in the box, and I'll leave the funnel in there too. But I will take this out, and I've got so many of these. What I do is, right when I take it out, I take a piece of paper and I write down the model on there, and I put it in there and then put it in my box of all these so that I know what's what later on. so that I know which coupler goes to which locomotive. All right. And yes, I'm barefoot because I'm in my own house. Okay, so now we're going to open up some passenger cars, matching passenger cars. So this is the Southern Pacific VistaVision Dome. Oops. Let me zoom out a little bit. All right. And these are the 21-inch passenger cars. Southern Pacific Lark VistaVision Dome streams live video via Wi-Fi from inside the dome. Die-cast sprung trucks and 054 minimum curve. All right, so here are those scale mounting pads again, which I don't need. At least not now. Yeah, that looks awesome. There's a little Wi-Fi camera up in the dome, and you can stream that to your phone. It's not that good, to be honest. I mean, it would be cool if you could stream it to, you know, other devices. You know, if you could somehow stream it to YouTube or something like that easily, that would be really cool. But as it is, it's okay. But it's not great. But you know, it would have cost them a lot more to put some really fancy system in there. But yeah, there it is. Very cool. And hopefully when I run this in a few minutes, everything will work properly. It's always dangerous running stuff on camera or running stuff for visitors. Running brand new stuff, because you never know if it's gonna, it might not run well on your layout. You might have some sort of issues with it. You never know. There's the instructions for it. Wi-Fi camera app owner's manual. All right, now we've got a 4-pack of passenger cars. A 21-inch passenger car 4-pack. I can tell I'm getting old because my back hurts leaning over like this, opening these boxes. All right, so let's see what's in here. We've got flicker-free LED lighting, die-cast sprung trucks, 054 minimum curve. It's a 4-pack, but it doesn't say what the exact cars are. I think they're coach cars. We'll find out. All right, so here is a coach car. It's not a coach car, it's not a sleeper. Well, I guess it is a sleeper car, sort of. There it is. Very cool. Try to speed this up. But I need to unbox all these because we're going to run these in just a minute. All right. Well, here's the observation car. It's got that antenna running on the top. Very nice. It's got those, what do they call these? The kinematic couplers or whatever that adjust. I like these diaphragms too, these rubber diaphragms. Looks fantastic. Okay. And here we have, it's like another sleeper car. Looks great. And here we have another car. You can see little sinks and toilets in there. That's kind of cool. Very nice. Okay, we're getting close. I've got 2 more cars to unbox. All right, so here's the last box. This is a 2-pack. This is the Station Sounds Diner 2-pack. So one of these cars is a Station Sounds Diner, which is always cool. And I'm hoping one of these is a baggage car. I thought I ordered a baggage car. If I didn't, I'm going to have to turn around and order one. All right, so now there's not a baggage car in here. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Station Sounds Diner. And I guess the other one is just a regular car. This one has a ribbed roof, a little bit different. And this is a dining car, but it's not the Station Sounds dining car. It just has tables inside. I guess I didn't order a baggage car. I'm gonna have to rectify that. And here's the Station Sounds dining car. Yeah. Oh, we got a little piece that fell off. Let's see what that is. It's a screw. So here's the Station Sounds dining car. Very nice. It's got that ribbed roof again. Now I wonder where that screw goes. Oh, okay. Goes right here. Well, considering how beat up the exterior boxes were when these arrived, having one screw loose, I consider that a resounding success. Because the boxes, I wasn't here when they first attempted delivery, and they required a signature, and they had to attempt delivery 3 times because I was on the Appalachian Trail last weekend, and when they finally delivered them, it looked like they had played keep away with the exterior boxes. Okay. More instructions. All right, so now we're going to get these up on the layout, and we're going to run this train. Hopefully everything will work the first time out. We'll find out. So let's get moving with it. Here. So I'll just put the camera on the layout for a moment while I get this all together. And I'm going to try to put that screw back in. Maybe if I spot a question. Do you think that Lionel will make a Polar Express articulated steam locomotive? I don't see any compelling reason why they would. I mean, the Polar Express is not an articulated locomotive. So, I mean, that would be like making a Polar Express big boy. I mean, like, what would be the point? Come on, little screw, get in there. It's a funny question, though. Of all the things Lionel could make, that's probably the item I would least think of, and probably Lionel too. I don't think they would think of that either. An articulated Polar Express locomotive. That would be interesting. get this camera over here so you guys can at least see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to get a little screwdriver. Yeah, like I said, considering the condition of those boxes, I'm more than happy to put in a missing screw or two because, man, those things were beat to hell. Alrighty, let's see here. So, here's that car. And the screw that came out is part of this little plate that holds the kinematic coupler in place. I'm trying to find where I had the screw on here and then it fell off, so I'm trying to find out where it went. Boy, once this little coupler pops off, it's really hard to get it back on there. See if I can get it in there. Come on, little hook. Oh, almost had it. There we go. There we go. All right. I'm going to go get my, I think there's a screw missing. I might have dropped it on the floor somewhere, so I'm going to go hold tight for a moment, and I'm going to get my my parts bin and get a screw that fits in there, and then we'll run this thing. I'm going to cut off the audio while I'm rooting around. Okay, I'm back. All right, so you see I've got this this bin of screws. Anytime a screw goes missing, or if I find a screw on the layout somewhere or on the floor, I I put it in this bin, so I've got like a screw for every occasion in here. And I guarantee I probably have a screw that'll fit in here. This one looks promising. Let's see. Oops. That was a little bit too big. Here's one. This one might work. There we go. This is the little stuff you have to do when you do this hobby. Sometimes you have to do little spot repairs like this. Okay, there we go. That's good. All right, so let's get this going. beer can right on top of the train. All right. Well, I don't have a baggage car right now, so I'll just put these in the best place I can, best order I can. I'm going to raise this camera up a little bit, give you guys a better view. Okay. I think I'll put the station sounds car toward the end. Seems to be the thing to do. Yeah. And then we'll put the the dome car. I have no doubt that these cars will probably squeak and squeal some. These Lionel 21-inch cars tend to be a little squeaky. They usually need a little bit of lubrication, so since I haven't had time to do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a little squeaky. But it'll be okay. And it'll be nice to put some passengers in these cars. I will probably do that not long after this show. I'll go in each one of these passenger cars and put some passengers in there. All right. Okay. I'm a little bit nervous about running these passenger cars for the first time on camera because there's a lot of them and there's a lot of wheels and that's a lot of opportunity for some sort of gremlin to pop up on the first run. So don't be surprised if something derails the first time out. But we'll see how it goes. All right, I think I will put this got so much stuff on the track right now. First of all, let's make sure I can actually power up the track without it shorting out somewhere. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in slot 38. $30, $34. Okay. So let's see how this does. Let me adjust the camera again so you guys can see everything. Okay, let's see here. Program, engine 34. Whistle steam, and then it should also have the cylinder steam effect, which should start up when it starts moving. Or maybe not. Let's just see if it runs first, then we'll worry about this smoke effects. Well, so far so good. as I expected, these passenger cars are not all behaving themselves right off the bat. That's why. This one's got its wheel off kilter. There we go. And this is why they tell you, you know, when you have an open house or something, they say never to run anything that's brand new, because inevitably you will encounter some sort of problem. Hopefully this will be the most problematic thing of this run, but you know, this stuff happens, you know, and some people might sit there and badmouth and say, "Oh my, it's crap," you know, but that's just the nature of the hobby. If you're trying to run something for the first time on your layout, you know, a lot of times the problem is with your layout, not the cars. Sometimes. Sometimes certain cars just don't like your layout. I've had that happen. Oh, there's the steam. There's the cylinder steam going on. You couldn't see that. I had the camera switched. I don't know if you guys have seen the cylinder steam thing yet, but let me... Let me see if I can get the cylinder steam thing working for you.
Southern Pacific 4414 on dispatcher. We are done for the day. We're signing out.
It's got the road name specific dialogue. Okay. All right, so, and it's not really, you can say it's quality control, but honestly, you should have seen the boxes these things came in. It looked like, I'm not kidding, it looked like UPS played keep away with the boxes. They were just, the exterior boxes from Train World were just trashed. So it's amazing that everything is as in good condition as it is. All right, I'm going to turn on some of the external microphones so you can hear what's going on. Okay. Hopefully this should allow you guys to better hear the trains, because before it was just on my lavalier mic. All right, so let's start this thing up again. I'm doing this so you can hopefully you can see the cylinder steam, but I'll show it when I review it. So if you can't see it, don't worry about it. There it is. It's got this reciprocating cylinder steam effect. It's so cool. Hands down, one of the best steam effects Lionel's ever done. Looks like Chessie's getting into the train boxes. Let me know if you guys can hear the locomotive and everything. Chessie, what you doing? There's Chessie. Hey, Chessie. You giving yourself a bath? He says, these are my boxes. Uh-oh. Got some sort of issue going on with it. See if we can figure out what's going on. Try resetting it. I probably have dirty track. Well, does not want to come back around. It's acting like it's got something stuck in there. Let's see.
Your office to SP4414. Make a full bit to top her off. Over. Okay, let's get to work. SP4414 out.
why this thing really doesn't want to move. Well, I guess we're going to have to do it the hard way. Once again, this is why running something that is brand new in front of people is can be problematic. Because you have to work out the gremlins for anything. And this thing is on the part of the layout that just is hard to get to. Let's hope I can get it the rest of the way. I know what's going on. It's having some sort of signal reception issue. I don't know if it's probably not a problem with the engine itself. It might be something on my layout that's causing interference. Might be my computers or something, who knows.
SP-4414 to the tower. Going to the register room to sign out. Out.
Take a look at the underside just to make sure there's nothing funny going on. Oh, looks good. It all looks fine. Okay. Well, I think for right now, what I'm going to do is run this on the top level of my layout because I think if there's any signal issues going on right now, they will be a lot less on the top level. Only problem is I've got another Vision Line engine up there right now, so I'll have to move that one. Passenger cars, after I fix that little snafu though, they seem to be working okay. That's good. And again, those of you who are saying, oh, it's not working. What a piece of garbage. It's not that. It's that it's a brand new engine. And I guarantee you, if you want proof of that, go out and buy a brand new train, invite some people over to see it run, and watch what happens. Doesn't matter what train you buy, doesn't matter how much it costs. The first time you run it, if you do it in front of people, it'll give you problems, I guarantee you. So what I'll have to do later on, off camera, is I'll have to do a little diagnostics and see why it's having signal issues. And you can usually, with Lionel, it's really easy to tell it's a signal issue because when you look at the engine coming down the track, if you see the headlight flashing like crazy, that typically means that there's a signal issue. Because the headlight starts flashing because it's not getting a good signal. It doesn't know what to do. So that's the telltale sign with Lionel, at least. It's weird because it ran fine the first time around, didn't have any signal issues, but there's something causing some sort of signal issue. So I'll check it out at some point after I do the show. Okay. All right. I need to remove the train that's up there right now. I've got the Vision Line GS4 set up here. Which is a nice set in its own right. It's got a GS4 number 4457. So we'll see if we can run this around the top loop a couple times, and then we'll do some more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Appreciate everybody standing by while I troubleshoot some stuff. Again, that's the danger of running something for the first time on camera. If I were smart, I would have unboxed it earlier and tested it out and worked out all the gremlins and then run it on camera, but I wanted to unbox it with you guys, and so that's the price you pay. Okay.
SP-4414 to the tower. Ready to make our pull. Can we get permission to occupy the main? Over.
Now see, it's having signal issues up here too. There's something going on. Come on. Yeah, there's some sort of signal issue going on. I wonder if it's all these microphones I have all over the place. So these are the antennas. So it's got good antennas. Let's see here. There it goes. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but the light starts flashing because it's not getting a proper signal. Chelsea's going to town on my box. Well, so you can tell it's a signal issue because if I put my hand over it, which is a ground plane, then it works fine. So it's a signal issue. It's not a power issue. See, now I can't blow the whistle. Now I can. So it's a ground plane issue. There's interference that's preventing the signal from working correctly. So that's something I'm going to have to troubleshoot. Yeah, there's some sort of grounding issue going on. Interference. Let's see if I got my ground planes connected. Yeah, it's in there. I've got a ground plane wire going around my layout. It's not liking that. Yeah. It's a signal issue. 100%.
SP 4414 on tower.
All right. Well, we'll call it a day on the Lark. I might have to come back to that when I review it, figure out what's going on. I'm not going to spend the next hour troubleshooting it. It might be interference from all the microphones in the room. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, sorry, I cut off my own mic. Okay. So, yeah, there's all sorts of interference going on with the mic right now. I saw the comment about power and about track being clean. It's not that. There's interference going on, and so I've got a wireless mic. I've got two wireless mics here. I've got a computer. I've got an iPad. I've got a mixer. I got 4 mics sitting here. So like, I'm pretty sure it's interference from all that stuff. So, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's try the Lion Chief app, Bluetooth. Let's try that. That's a good idea. Perfect. I'm glad someone said that. Let's try the Bluetooth. Where's my phone? Randy Caruso, thanks for suggesting the Bluetooth. I totally forgot about that. Let's see here. Lion Chief. There we go. There it is. All right, let's see what happens with Bluetooth. Nope, it's still having signal issues. Why is it still having signal issues? Let me, hang on a minute. Give me a second. I'm going to totally kill the legacy signal and see if that helps. Okay. Got so much microphone stands and everything around here, it's hard to walk around. Okay. All right, so let's see if this helps. I'm going to shut it off real quick. All right. Okay, let's try this one more time. So far, so good. Of course, I can't quill the whistle as good as on the on the legacy remote, but at least it's working. It seems to be. Yeah, I think it's going to work fine with the Bluetooth. Well, maybe not. I jinxed it. It's like when it loses signal, it defaults to putting out as much smoke as humanly possible. Of course, it's possible that whatever's interfering with the legacy signal is going to interfere with Bluetooth too, so who knows. All right. Well, at least it seems to be working with Bluetooth. Let me turn the mics back on. Give you a little more sound. pitch of whistle. I kind of like that one. Yeah, I like that. Let's try another one. Kind of like this one. Let's check out some of the bell stuff. Yeah, I like that horn the best. Whistle.
Southern Pacific 4414 to the dispatcher. The train is in the clear and tied down. Looking to cut off. Over. Thanks. Good run. Out.
There's the cylinder steam, at least part of it. That's not the reciprocating one, but that's the static cylinder steam.
SP 4414 to the tower. Ready to make our pull. Do we need permission to occupy the main? Over. Things are taking a little longer than usual. Sit tight until I can get the line cleared. Out.
Pretty cool. I've never figured out on the Lion Chief remote how to do a graceful shutdown. Like, you can disconnect the Bluetooth, but I've never found... Is there a way to do, like, a shutdown, like a shutdown sequence, like on the Legacy remote? I don't know. Someone can tell me. Anyway, let me turn off these external mics. Okay, so the problems with Legacy, it's probably one of two things. It's either signal interference of some sort, which I wouldn't be surprised since I've got so much wireless stuff going on down here right now, or it may be that, maybe in shipping, the ground wire on the inside got knocked loose and it doesn't have a ground wire in there for the signal. I'll open up the engine and take a look and make sure the antenna wire is connected and everything, but I'm thinking it's probably signal interference from all this wireless junk I have down here right now. So anyway, but I'll be reviewing this soon, and hopefully I'll have worked out all the gremlins by then and figured out what's going on. But at least it did work with Bluetooth, and so you got to see it run. So that's good. Good old Bluetooth. So let me turn this camera back around. Cameras. There we go. So that was an adventure. Like I said, running new trains in front of people is always an adventure. So, all right. So we'll take a couple more questions, and then one last thing I wanted to show you is this thing. I got this triple track signal from K&R Custom Signals, and I'm going to be reviewing this soon. As soon as I get it installed, it's got a lot of wires. I'm going to have to do a lot of track modifications to get this thing installed, but it's going to be really cool. It's going to go right here on the main table, and it should look really cool. It's got signals in both directions, so it's going to be really, really cool. And I've got some other signals of theirs too that I'll be reviewing at some point as well. So, all right. So we'll do a couple questions, and then we'll call it a day. So, let's see here. See, here's another money question. How do you have so much money to buy 300 locomotives? That's insane. Well, again, Ethan, I'm not sure how old you are, but judging from your icon, it looks like you're probably pretty young. So how do I buy so many locomotives? Because I talked about this earlier. I worked my tail off. I didn't win the lottery. I don't come from a super rich family. I mean, my family was, upper middle class, but I wouldn't say we were rich. I do well. I wouldn't consider myself rich at this point in life, but I do very well. And that's a product of hard work, years and years of hard work. And I also have 5 different jobs that I do. I talked about that earlier. I've got my day job. I've got a side business that I do related to my day job. I've got, with the same industry as my day job, I've got this channel, which is a job. It does generate money. I've got my other channel, Kitbashed Survival, which generates more money, actually more money than this channel now. And then I write articles for OGR Magazine, which generates income. So that's 5 jobs. I work a lot of hours. I'm always working. Even on the weekends, I'm doing videos and other projects and stuff like that. So that's how I get the money to buy these trains. Usually the simplest explanation is the easiest, and that's the simple explanation is that I work hard. If you're young and you don't have a job, that's probably why you can't buy many trains. But once you get older and you hopefully get a career, you can have some disposable income and be able to spend it on whatever you want. Also, I'm not married anymore, so that also frees up a lot of funds that would normally be allocated towards other things by a wife. So there's that as well. So anyway, I'm sure if I get into a relationship again or ever get married again, my train budget will take a severe drop. Do I have an extra bell for the Vision Line Big Boy? No, I don't have I'm not a part supplier. What inspires you to keep your channel website running after all these years? Well, I mean, I love the hobby. There's always new stuff coming out. So sometimes it's the joy of the hobby. Sometimes it's the joy of collecting, because I love collecting stuff. I mean, I don't just collect trains. I collect all sorts of things. I collect. I did a video a while back where I talked about my other collections that I have. So I'm a collector, and I like collecting things. And then sometimes it's just, and then other times it's just the business side of it, where you know I need to produce content in order to keep revenue flowing. That's the double-edged sword kind of thing of having a YouTube channel that's relatively successful, is that you have to produce content, and you have to keep content coming, and so sometimes it's motivated by that. So. How big is your layout? It's about 400 square feet all total. It goes through 4 different rooms, but it's about 400 square feet. Let's see here. Yeah, someone says also consider how long it took you to accumulate those engines. Yeah, I started accumulating these engines proper in 2004, was when I got back into the hobby. So 17 years. So, you know, still, if you divide 300 and some odd engines by 17 years, that's still a lot of engines per year. But, you know, it's not like I got it all in 2 years. Let's see here. Lionel, I don't know if they're going to have a bell by itself. They probably will sell the whole shell that has the bell, but I don't know if they're going to have the bell on its own. You might have to buy a whole new shell and just pluck the bell off. There are these really nice New York Central Pullman passenger cars. I hope you might consider making them a review and adding them to the collection. I've got a lot of New York Central passenger cars already. I've got the ones that Lionel put out a few years ago. They're really nice 21-inch cars. And then I've also got some MTH New York Central cars. And I think I've got some Pullman heavyweights too, if I'm not mistaken. So I've got a lot of New York Central. So that's probably why I'm not going to be adding any right now. Let's see here. What other YouTube train channels do you enjoy watching? Believe it or not, I really don't watch a lot of other channels. I watch what's his face? James JLW 2000. What's his channel name? Gosh, I can't remember. It's a weird channel name. He does HO mainly. Oops. What's his name? Where is it? Seems to have disappeared from my subscription list. I don't know where it is. Or maybe I'm not looking at the right one. But let's see here. JLWII 2000. He's HO, but I watch some of his videos. I also watch some of Ravenhawk, some of Ravenhawk 6910's videos. But really, I really don't watch very many YouTube, and I watch a few random ones here and there, but I really don't watch a lot of stuff on YouTube train-wise because I'm so immersed in it already that my free time on YouTube, I usually watch other channels. I mean, I'll tell you the channels I'm subscribed to if you want to know. So I'm not subscribed to that many channels. So there's Randall's Rest and Relaxation. He does sleep sounds. There's Homemade Wanderlust. She does hiking, backpacking. Really good channel. There's Technology Connections. He does sort of technology stuff. My favorite channel of all time is Techmoan. He's awesome. Let's see, I'm subscribed to Company Man. He does videos about various companies. 8-Bit Guy is another one of my favorites. Doug DeMuro is a favorite of mine. Curious Droid is a favorite. VW Westlife is good. Then there's Gideon's Tactical. He does like outdoor knives and outdoor gear reviews. CollectorNet. He does like antique transistor radios and stuff like that. I've got a chiropractor on here because I like watching people get their necks and backs cracked. I've got more Doug DeMuro, his second channel. Auto Moments, which is a classic car channel. Randy Rain, she restores robots, like toy robots. She's got a really cool channel. LGR, Lazy Game Reviews. He's got a good channel. Steve, 1989 MRE Info. He reviews MREs and military rations. He's got a great channel. This Does Not Compute. He's okay. I watch him sometimes. Fran Blanche. She's cool. She does like vintage electronics and stuff like that. Survival Lily. She does like outdoor survival kind of stuff. She's over in Austria. 8-Bit Show and Tell is like vintage electronic stuff, like Commodores and Texas Instrument stuff. Then there's Ravenhawk. I got the Tim Traveler on here. He does travel over in Europe. Tim Traveler. Tech Tangents. He does vintage technology, vintage computers and stuff like that. Broncourt 1. He's a train guy. I watch his videos when he puts them out. Brad's Trains. I'm not sure when the last time he put a video out, but I have him on there. Paul's Trains, which is a friend of mine named Paul. He's on there. Jan Beta. He's a technology guy, electronics guy over in Europe somewhere. Max's Trains is another friend of mine. 8-Bit Keys is the music channel of 8-Bit Guy, and I do his. JLWII 2000, which is HO Trains, and then Manuela's Model Bond Video, which is she's I think it's O gauge, 2L O gauge or some gauge over. She's over in Germany or somewhere. She's pretty cool, and that's it. And Bill Yates, he's a friend of mine, although he hasn't made a video in a while. So those are the channels I subscribe to. So so that's that. So out of all those channels, maybe what is that? Maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 train channels, and of those 7, only 2 of those produce videos on a regular basis. So I really don't. Most of the stuff I watch usually doesn't have to do after the trains. Usually has to do with camping or backpacking or retro electronics and computers and stuff like that. The custom loco, when it's done, will be available through Legacy Station. They're the ones who are going to be funding it and getting it made, so it'll be available through them. Where did you get the railroad-themed skirt that you have around your layout? It's a really cool skirt. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll show it to you real quick. Oops, I just killed my camera. So he's talking about these skirts, these railroad themed skirts that are on the way out, and those are really cool. They they were made by a girl I was dating for a couple years, and she decided that the skirts I had were boring, and she sewed them for me. We got the fabric, and I'd already, yeah, we got the fabric, and then she put the bottoms on the skirts. So she did a fantastic job at it. Unfortunately, the relationship didn't work out, but yeah, she really did a fantastic job. She also did a couple of stools. I have a couple of stools that have the same pattern on them. You can probably see the tip of one back there. So very cool. The custom loco, what will it be? Well, I talked about that earlier. It's going to be an MTH Premier Line F3A. If I didn't answer your questions, watch the video if you joined late, and I probably answered it earlier on. So, do I have a favorite type of locomotive? I mean, I like them all. Probably my overall favorite wheel arrangement for steam locomotives is probably the 484 Northern. If I had to pick an overall, just general favorite steam locomotive, I like 484 Northerns. But of course, that doesn't mean I don't like other ones. I've always thought the 484s look really good. How many trains can you run in your layout at once without double headers? I can run 1, 2, 3, 4. I can run 4. And I'll do one more question, and then we'll call it a day. It's coming up on 8:30. So let's see. My least favorite type of locomotive. I don't really have a least favorite. I mean, I like them all. They all have their charm, you know. My favorite TV show. Yeah, you don't want to. The TV shows I watch are extremely boring, and I'm not very up to date on recent TV. I mean, I watch new shows, but it takes me a while to decide to watch them. So I guess the most recent new show that I watched was that I enjoyed was Queen's Gambit on Netflix. That was really good. I think they're going to make a second season. So that's the most new show I watched. That's the most recent show that I've watched, newly produced show. Oh, and I watched Star Trek Discovery too, season 3 of Star Trek Discovery, which was, yeah, it was okay. Do you plan on coming to Strasbourg to see the 611 when it gets there? I probably won't, just because I'm so busy. I really don't have time to take a lot of extraneous road trips. And if I do take a road trip, it's usually not for trains. It's usually to get away from trains. It's usually camping or backpacking or just, you know, just chilling out. Although I do want to go on a train trip. I think next year I want to try to go on a train trip. I'd like to. I think I want to go on the. I'd like to go on the Zephyr, you know, from Chicago to San Francisco. I'd like to do that, and then I'd like to do one of those Canadian trains. That'd be cool too. What is my favorite Star Trek series? Go boy, that's a long discussion. My favorite used to be TOS. I grew up watching TOS. I mean, it wasn't new when I was growing up. It was on reruns, but I've seen every episode of TOS probably 300 times a piece. I mean, I know them all line by line. Um, I, but lately I really like Next Generation. It took, Next Generation took a couple seasons to really find themselves. But once they got going, like seasons 3 through to the rest of the series were excellent. And unfortunately, Star Trek is not what it used to be. It's become just a confusing blur of computer effects and nonsensical storylines that are just not very well thought out. But it is what it is. I'm hoping someone will come in and save Star Trek at some point. But I love TOS. I love Next Generation. I like Deep Space Nine, and then it pretty much ends there. I did not like Voyager, and I did not like Enterprise, and Discovery is okay. It has its moments where it's pretty good, but then it just goes off the rails and suffers from bad writing. So. But I used to be just diehard TOS, and then I was a kid when Next Generation came out, and the first 2 seasons were so stupid and awkward that I stopped watching, and then I rewatched it again when I was older, and then it got after season 2 it got really good, and it was a fantastic series. The Chris Pine Star Treks, the new Star Trek movies, I did not like those very much at all, simply because the first one was okay, the third one was okay, the second one was a complete and utter disgraceful rip-off and borrowing and lazy writing, trying to borrow from Wrath of Khan. Which was just a stupid idea, because you're not going to beat Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan is the best Star Trek movie ever made, period. And trying to steal from that is just weak, and it made no sense. It was stupid. And again, it's just because lately, Star Trek, like the Star Trek movies, they became action movies and digital effects movies rather than science fiction. And Star Trek works best when it's good science fiction that makes you think, and that is compelling and has good character development and good moral questions and stuff like that. It's not an action series. It's kind of like James Bond. James Bond works best when it's a spy movie, not an action movie. And so many of the modern era of James Bonds were action movies, and they were horrible. And then when Daniel Craig came in and they did Casino Royale, that was good because that was a spy movie again. Same with Star Wars. They treat it like an action movie rather than a science fiction space opera kind of thing. So that's why it. So I liked the original cast movies. I liked Generations, even though a lot of people don't. First Contact was awesome. That's in my opinion, First Contact it's not as good as Wrath of Khan, but it's pretty darn good. And then Insurrection was okay, and then Nemesis was a pile of garbage, and then I think that was the last movie they made. So, am I going to keep doing post-war or early Lionel restorations? This will be the last questions. Yeah, I have some stuff that I want to restore, and when I get around to filming it, I will. It's just a question of having time to do it all. I've got so many videos that I need to get done, and that's just... so when I can, I will do it. I enjoy filming those videos. So, yeah. Anyway, so that'll be the last question, and we will end it there. It's past 8:30, so it's been over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, jeez. So, no, wait, 6:30, 7:30. Yeah. So we'll call it a day there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We got the Lark to run on Bluetooth. That was good, and I'll have to take a look and see what's causing the signal problems with the legacy operation. And like I said, lots of new videos coming soon, so keep an eye out for those. And that'll do it. So thanks for watching, and everyone have a pleasant evening and a pleasant week, and I will talk